back they went to the countryside. It wasn't long before their success became apparent. Some members of the team wear black peasant suits and help the peasants with the harvest, while others wear camouflage uniforms and carry weapons to protect the team and the villagers from surprise raids by the Viet Cong. The way to the market in this village was over a bridge, destroyed many months before by the Viet Cong, and the peasants knew that rebuilding would only mean another explosion. Until the arrival of the cadres, the peasants had no heart to rebuild ruins, but with encouragement, the peasants restored the bridge. Now, ox carts can once more pass to market with their vital burdens of rice. And in another village, a dam was constructed. It will control water which formerly flooded villages downstream. Now the water has become a pond for ducks and a reservoir for irrigating vegetable gardens. Along with community projects, individuals are helped, like building a house for the wife of a soldier, a widow perhaps, or a poor farmer. The team doesn't attempt to do all the work, but rather, as they were taught, to inspire the people with the will to help themselves. In some parts of Vietnam, the houses are made of clay. In other parts, they're made of straw. The techniques are different. The results are the same: goodwill and intelligence. The cadres were winning the allegiance of the people. Their friendly talks with the villagers gave them information about the local strengths and movements of the Viet Cong. While most of the team remained constantly on the job, working among the people, individuals were allowed furloughs to visit their homes in nearby villages. He will stay exactly 4 days, which he will spend relaxing and doing needed family chores. So encouraging were the results of the first few classes that it was decided to increase the training capacity at Vung Tau. Not far from the first camp, construction was begun on another camp. The faculty was extended to accommodate the larger classes. After 3 years of hard work, 24,000 men had been trained and sent back to their home provinces. As reports showed how successful the teams were, great pressure developed for further expansion of the program. After lengthy discussions between Vietnamese and American officials, the government of Vietnam decided to make the PAT program the basis for their entire pacification effort. The Vietnamese demonstrated their commitment in a decree of January 26, 1966, which stipulated rural construction cadres would be granted draft deferment. The camp at Vung Tau was designated the National Training Center and put under the control of Ministry of Revolutionary Development. Early in 1966, in view of the continuing deterioration of local government, it was decided to expand the program rapidly. The previous class had numbered 1,600. The number in the February class was set at 4,800. The June class to be jumped to 5,600. The September class to be 7,500, which would exhaust the capacity at Vung Tau. Any further expansion would require the building of additional facilities in some other area. From hundreds to thousands, virtually overnight, could thousands still be turned into well-trained, enthusiastic patriots? It had to be done. Time was short. The existence of the nation was at stake. Training schedules were revised. The training period was extended to 13 weeks, with every minute accounted for. It was a rigorous program that was to go on 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Much of the burden lay on the guides and the political instructors. The instructors had been chosen for their intelligence, their dedication to anti-communism, their leadership. The guides were also important. They could be compared with combat non-coms, setting an example of responsibility and self-sacrifice. They would stay with their units at all times. In mid-1966, the basic team was changed from a 40 to a 59-man unit. The team leader is responsible for the entire team. He has 2 deputies. There are 3 health workers, 1 intelligence member, and 1 psychological warfare member. 1 deputy is in charge of 3 11-man squads who are responsible for the defense of the team and for gaining the affection of the people. In this task, a musical instrument becomes a weapon. The other deputy is in charge of 3 specialized squads, 1 of which takes a census of the villagers and records their grievances. This is known as the Census Grievance Squad. Another is trained in basic administrative functions. This called the Civic Affairs Squad. The 3rd squad teaches people to help themselves. This is called a New Life Development Squad. All members of the team come from the same region and will be reassigned there. They come mostly from the villages like Trois. Trois and the other members of his team were selected by his province chief on the basis of negotiations with the Ministry of Revolutionary Development. In 3s and 4s all over Vietnam, they prepare to leave their villages for the first time. With the assistance of U.S. and Vietnamese military transports, they were taken to airports in a giant airlift operation, and from here to Vung Tau, where they disembarked by the thousands. They were welcomed by graduate student receptionists and transported by truck to camp. First, the students meet their guide and are enrolled. Soon after comes the medical examination and shots. Trois would eat food prepared in great kitchens in the camp. Food had to be plentiful and good, for mealtime was a part of the morale-building program. Perhaps the most important event of the first day is the issuing of equipment. For at this time, Trois and the others received the distinctive uniform of the center, the black peasant suit. This suit is to be used almost immediately to establish the keynote of the entire training program in a ceremony called accepting the peasant suit. It is the first step in reaching the mind with the concept of idealism and citizenship.
Thưa các bạn, hôm nay
What is the significance of the black peasant suit? It is a symbol of humility, misery, and oppression. The peasant of Vietnam, too poor to buy soap, must wear a garb that will not show the dirt and need be washed but once a week. Thus, the donning of the black suit carries with it a vow to accept and to try to better the lot of the peasant. Suddenly, Trois is being offered a new and exciting role, a crusader for a better way of life. Fishermen, farmers, blacksmiths. For the first time, they identify themselves as something outside their families and villages. They feel the excitement, and by putting on the suit, they accept the challenge. They are bound to a common cause as citizens of Vietnam. Changing a way of life in short time calls for unusual methods. Within 3 days, all students are organized into cells. These are the basic units of study. A system that seems to make them work harder and learn faster. Lessons are first presented in writing and are studied in the barracks by the students. The second step is the lecture.
Hôm nay chúng ta bước qua cái giai đoạn thứ 3 trong 7 bước học tập của chúng ta để tìm hiểu xem rằng là chúng ta cùng một nguồn gốc cả, mà tại làm sao mặt trận giải phóng miền Nam cứ đòi chém giết chúng ta. Thưa các bạn, trở về nguồn để mà tìm kiếm cái cội rễ, cái căn nguyên của cái con người chúng ta, con người Việt Nam.
The cells engage in free discussion after the lecture. This way the meaning becomes crystal clear.
Việt Cộng là bọn cộng sản, Việt chúng theo thuyết Mác Lê coi trọng về vật chất.
To further clarify the meaning, there is the question and answer period.
Làm cách mạng chúng ta phải làm thế nào để cho đúng với nghĩa của hai chữ cách mạng?
Thì các bạn đã thấy hồi xưa đó có nhiều người ai cũng tự nhận mình là làm cách mạng.
Then a student presents the lecture.
Mục đích của bài điểm thứ nhất, chúng ta dùng lịch sử.
Following the student's presentation comes class discussion. By this time, any doubts have been revealed, and the instructor and guide have been able to quickly resolve them. Finally, the instructor reviews the lesson just before the examination, which often takes place on the barracks floor. The students know that the results will be entered on their records both at the school and back home in the province. The goal of all instruction is how to return to the village. This means training in weapons to protect the team and the villagers. Trois knows he is not a soldier, but he also knows he must gain time to make contact with the people and link them with local authorities. Meanwhile, his survival may depend upon his aim. Students are all taught elementary military tactics, like setting up a perimeter defense. This will serve against small Viet Cong units. Against bigger forces, the teams are instructed to fade away into the countryside until the Viet Cong have gone beyond the village. Another way to protect a village is the ambush. Charges are placed in the area of expected attack. They are carefully hidden. Cardboard figures simulate the Viet Cong. The charge is detonated. When the enemy has been stunned, the team attacks. Medical training is also a factor in village defense. Students with aptitude are given special training. In combat medicine, wounds are made to look as realistic as possible, and the latest splints are introduced to the medics-to-be. But perhaps even more important to the team's future in the village is what is known as the General Medical Kit. Each team is provided with 3 of them, containing the latest drugs. Village medicine is important. A child restored to health is good public relations. Other classes learn how the body works, the circulatory system, for example. Their interest can be seen in the quality of work they do. In addition to paramilitary and medical training, the students are also given training in practical politics. For example, how to stage an anti-communist rally. Banners are made with anti-communist slogans, and student speakers lecture on the nature of communism and how to fight it. Students listen carefully, for they may be asked to make speeches themselves. In real life, the Viet Cong often try to break up such rallies. The Viet Cong attack is staged, so the students will know how to react. Everyone has a role to play. Everyone learns. Guards, medics, and even the mock Viet Cong.
Cái bước thứ 6 là cái bước nhân dân tự vệ. Làm
The
thế
last
nào?
step in reestablishing local government is the people's own self-reliance. This is the future.
Họ biết sử dụng cái vũ khí, sử dụng để mà bảo vệ cho gia đình họ, để bảo vệ cho xóm làng của họ.
Talent among the students is encouraged. Here they are making posters to attract voters in an election campaign. Again, everyone plays a role. The voters, the registrar, the precinct workers. The students take turns playing the role of the guards, which are necessary to prevent Viet Cong interventions. Meanwhile, the team learns how to win the people by good works. This is called new life development. In the village, the team learns how to reach the youngsters. The surest way to the hearts of the adults is through their children. Throughout the training period, the students are given field problems such as building a road to make it easier to get produce to market. And when the people are willing to work to help themselves, their tasks can be made easier through the use of materials of all kinds to be supplied by the free world: tools, seeds, medicines. This is the way that most members of the team spend their time in the villages. As the team wins the people by good deeds, the mobile census grievance squad begins to play an important role. A small house near the center of the village is leased by the squad. In a country without a census, it is basically an effort to find out who is who. One of the important surface aspects of the interview is to determine the grievances and the needs of the people. This is a way of getting material aid to the people who really need it. The information acquired by the Census Grievance Squad is a dramatic example of how the whole process results in the collection of positive, accurate intelligence. All the information is carefully assembled and maps are made, including certain houses colored in red. These are the houses of suspected Viet Cong sympathizers. The students are nearing the end of their training. But what have they learned? To defend themselves and the village. The importance of good behavior. How to help the villagers to a better life. How to link people to local authority. How to develop self-reliance among the people. How to collect information. Are they willing to face the long hours, the disappointments? As thousands have already done, they accept the challenge. To be loyal to our country. To perform our duties unselfishly. Serve the people, especially the aged, the sick, and the poor. To be united to fight against the communist traitors and other enemies of the nation. With their training completed, the citizen soldiers begin their work in the village, often in the simplest ways, creating confidence among the people, based on the philosophy diametrically opposed to that of the communists. Instead of governing through fear, they create trust and affection. Instead of destroying, they build. For they know that here, locally, in each village, they are building a whole nation. And good deeds will provide the sinews, the confidence upon which a people can knit local government to regional government to national government, which will bandage a nation's wounds and show a proud, strong, independent, and friendly face to the world.